Today's going to be a good day. We're setting sail to Tavira to meet up with our friend Jan because he actually left his guest book on our boat, so we're going to return that to him. To get there we have to navigate out of this really difficult pass that we needed help getting into. So we're leaving at high tide. We're the biggest boat in this marina, and it's not very common for boats this big to be in here. In fact, some of the fishermen have been giving us very strange looks. So our friend Ricardo is going to help us get out, and then we need to go in another channel to get into Tavira, and we're having a bit of trouble with the engine at the moment.
If we're going in and out of cuts and areas like this where we're going to run aground a metre to the left or a metre to the right, you want to have both engines working and working perfectly.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
How are you two this morning?
Perfect.
Good. Andre, you've only got a few more days with us, don't you?
Yeah, fortunately I'll be leaving, but I think I'll return. So.
Yeah. Great, we hope so. I'm Elayna and this is Riley, and this is our home, Le Vagabond. We've been sailing around the world for the last 5 years and have recently found ourselves with a stowaway. Meet Lenny. Subscribe and welcome aboard.
Indents on the bit of metal that's the outer casing for the impeller are making it so that the impeller can just slide slightly forwards or backwards, which means that water can get around the outside and it's not creating a adequate suction forcing the water through. I think we fixed it. So there was air getting in through the filter in the end. So we tightened up on that, swap the lid for the impeller around, and should be all good, I think.
Okay, we're off.
Sailing again, Lenny boy. Hey? Yeah! Where's Andre?
Yeah.
Don't worry, I left a few little jobs for you to do out here.
Yeah.
We just went past a little bobbing bit of, I guess it's a fish trap, but it looked like it was floating debris. And I just said to Andre if we were in the Gulf Stream or near especially the Bahamas, which he's sick of hearing about, and a couple of other places, that's virtually guaranteed to have little stuff clinging to it, and then little clams and then bits of seaweed, and then the little fish eat that, and then the bigger fish eat them, and then all of a sudden you've got mahi around and marlin, and then a couple of sharks and all different sorts of stuff. It's pretty cool. In the middle of nowhere, it's the most cool when you come across just an abandoned plank of wood and it's just got fish all over it.
So we've been sailing the Algarve, South Portugal, for about a month now since our lockdown in the marina in Lagos, and yeah, we're kind of just waiting for quarantine to stop in the Azores so that we can sail there and be able to explore all the islands without having to do quarantine in each place, because we would probably die on the boat with Lenny. He just could not handle being stuck on the boat for that long. Today we're going to Tavira to meet Jan, who's our friend. Yeah, like I said, he left a book on the boat, and so we're going to try and find him. He doesn't know we're coming, and then we're going to sail up a river together in the next few days, which is supposed to be really beautiful, really green. It's actually the river that separates the border between Portugal and Spain, but we definitely can't go to Spain because apparently they're really strict, obviously, with who they're letting into the country, and we'll definitely have to do quarantine and stuff like that. So we're going to stay in Portugal and yeah, just keep sailing around until we can head out to the Azores, which is a week's sail to get out there. The water's warmed up as well. We've just had the best weather. We got no wind though, which is really annoying. So we're actually motor sailing right now, but things are pretty good. Really excited to show you guys Tavira. Andre said it's quite beautiful. You can really feel the culture there. Yeah, so hang around for Tavira and subscribe if you're new here. We put out videos every Monday. This is the coolest book. This is actually a gift that we got at the boat show.
At Annapolis.
Yeah. How cool. Wow. Wow.
The arms on the lazy jack are pulling it this way, so the sailbag's just sliding forward, so we're going to pull it back and tie it in place. That's the plan.
What are you doing?
I'm cutting down rope to attach the sailbag to the back of the boom so that it doesn't go forward.
So like we've experienced before, you don't get to leave an inlet and arrive in an inlet, both on high tide, so you've kind of got to pick the lesser of two evils. That inlet there is very impossible if not at high tide. We went out of there at high tide, which means when we come into Tavira, it's going to be not perfectly high tide. I'm glad it's not blowing too much, but there's still waves, which means that they'll be breaking on the sandbank on the point, I have no doubt. And we need to keep to the right hand side when we're going in. So hug the green, Elayna.
We have just got the most organised boat this year. So good.
Hey.
Thanks to Andre being here to help us with everything. We feel like we're finally, after 6 years of sailing, on top of things.
I've got OCD with that stuff, so walking around, I'll deliberately not go into a cupboard if I know it's messy.
We've been saying too many nice things about you, Andre.
Our audience would be sick to death of hearing about you.
Yeah, but seriously.
I mean, I did crash a drum, but we need to start pointing out the bad things as well.
Okay, so one bad thing is probably that you've hurt yourself a few times this trip.
Yeah, a lot of times.
What did you do to your finger?
I was opening up an oyster and it just cracked and slided it off through my finger. But no, it's all good.
Yeah, Andre has probably hurt himself more times than I would like, but luckily we've got a really good medical kit.
So as I'm looking at the entrance to this channel here, you can see where the waves are breaking, and it's pretty horrible looking where the sandbar is built up. We're going to go past it all and then around and in. Hopefully there's no boats coming the other way because it seems to be quite narrow on the eastern side.
Proper addicted.
Yeah. I'm currently in the BVI sailing. I was trying to think of a creative way that we could invite patrons on board, and I was playing this game and I decided to organise a competition. There'll be more information over on our Patreon page, but basically for you guys, if you head over there, the first 100 people that click on the link will get the game for free. Yeah, so the competition starts in 72 hours time. You have to beat me, which isn't going to be that hard. The winner of the course will be invited on board. So good luck.
Good stuff. Thanks, Andre.
My pleasure.
We just found Jan's boat.
Yawn!
Jan!
Yawn!
Bye bye.
We have just driven 15 minutes in the dinghy to go and find an anchor cemetery. Apparently, yeah, there's just a whole bunch of anchors in the same spot, and it's quite beautiful. So that's what we're doing. We're crossing a bridge, and I think it's a fair walk to the other side.
In the colors of the spring.
What have you found? Crab.
This arrangement of anchors is a kind of memorial to the lost tuna fishing industry that once thrived here. The anchors themselves were used to keep the nets in place, which would create a maze and the adult tuna would be ensnared. The anchors were placed here in 1964 when tuna fishing became unsustainable due to the rise of industrial fishing, which depleted tuna stocks by 72% in the eastern Atlantic over just 40 years.
I can hear the children laughing.
Let him go and catch him. Oh no! Come on.
Getting used to
I've never been to the beach as much as I have since having Lenny. It's like we just live here. Lenny goes twice a day, and Riley and I take turns of taking him so the other person can work. So good. Summer in Europe. Really, it's like starting to really get hot. It's the best feeling.
Please don't come close, just give me some room, yeah.
Even in another life, if I was to live in a city or something like that, and I knew what I knew now, I would purchase a little dinghy just to take me to places that most people can't get to. Grab yourself a little dinghy, see what places you find. Riley needs this for something. Hola!
We can definitely use it. Yeah.
Spearfishing or like an anchor
Both.
buoy. Yeah, sweet.
Good.
It's like new. We're about to take Andre to shore because he's leaving us for months. Hey?
Yep.
When are you going to be back? I'm so sad.
Yeah,
We're so sad.
I'll be back in 2 months, probably.
Well, thank you so much. You've been amazing. We've already said that a million times. We're not going to talk him up anymore. You've been alright.
Come to dance, fallen leaves are now covering our feet. Come to dance, there's no
Whoa.
to float here.
Oh my gosh.
Dance, there's a dance hall.
No!
Come to dance,
That would have left a dent for sure. Yeah, we've got a very strange thing going on at the moment. We've got wind coming from there and then the tide, which is pushing our boats in all different directions. Really glad I saw that because that definitely would have left a dent on the back. Join us this Friday for a bonus episode, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new here and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, because that helps us out. We'll see you guys soon. Cheers.
And ding the notifications bell.
And ding that notifications bell.
Sorry for interrupting, fans.
You should be.